The Real You, Really. Written by David Breeden, read by Justin Bovee. The Greek word authentikos means genuine. When you buy a bottle of extra virgin cold-pressed olive oil from Italy, you don't want to get heat-pressed olive oil from Spain. You want it to be authentic, genuine. The dominant assumption in Western societies is that genuine, authentic, is a good thing for an individual to be. Nobody wants to be a fake, or a poser, or just another face in the crowd. We all know what individual means, right? But here's the thing. The word individual didn't develop its current meaning until after the year 1600. The word comes into English from Latin via the Church. In, meaning not, and dividus retains its meaning in English, to divide. In the Church, they were talking about God being indivisible. But back to 1600. The word as we now use it in English does not appear until after the Protestant Reformation. For example, ancient Greek and Roman philosophers don't talk about being an authentic individual. They talk about how to achieve virtue. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius puts it this way: "We were born to work together, like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on someone, these are unnatural." From Meditations 2:1. In Christian scriptures, Paul, as he talked about how Christians should create community, talked about congregations as the body of Christ. An individual wasn't the body of Christ. They gathered community was the body of Christ. Individuals were little teeny parts. It began with the Protestant Reformation and crystallized with the British Puritans and their Civil War. The English Civil War produced some far-out groups. The Diggers, which was an anarchist group. The Quakers. The Muggletonians, followers of Locoweek Muggleton, which is where J.K. Rowling got the term. See how it is profitable to listen in history class? And my favorite, the Ranters, who not only ranted loudly in the streets, but were free love advocates and often nudists. Things got real in the English Civil War. You be you. Listen to your own drummer. It became a thing. But perhaps the most far-reaching authenticity movement was the counterculture that developed in Western Europe and the Americas after the Second World War. It drives what we nowadays call the culture wars in the U.S., resulting in a chasm between liberals and conservatives, both politically and religiously. It's behind the current roiling in the United Methodist Church. It happened both left and right. For example, the Hells Angels developed as an expression of authenticity by some World War II veterans whose war experience led them to an utterly nihilistic worldview. Racism, homophobia, violence, hate, velocity, drugs, sex, and more violence. We could say that the Beats that I admired as a kid, better known as beatniks, exemplified the other side of the equation: diversity, open sexual expression, peace, love, velocity, drugs, sex, and more peace. On the fringe left, we began to put together two different struggles for authenticity: what you want to be and what you must be. This was to have far-reaching cultural repercussions. As a young person looking for an authentic way to be, it became clear that if I hoped to get a professional job, at least in those days, the only place was liberal arts departments in universities. So that's what I did. And in my lifetime, those departments have been the locus of thought that has changed the way we lived, and really ticked off the right wing. It has been, and it is, in those liberal art departments that poets, writers, philosophers, sociologists, historians, and on, have written the social contract. African American studies programs, women's studies programs, Native and Indigenous studies programs, queer studies. Individuality, it appears, is one genie that won't go back in the bottle. Classic Protestantism